Snakes. I hate them. Question 9 asks us to infer given the statements that we've got here. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about pythons, the sultry tale of pet shops, America and Africa, and those dastardly snakes, right? Okay, so we have this situation where we have this huge shipment of pythons that hit America, and they're African pythons. And man, the prices at the pet stores drop. It's just, you know, everybody is running around buying these things. If Rocky were alive, he would have pythons and he wouldn't even have the turtles, okay? You know, it is euphoria, okay? There is just python mania sweeping the country. But here comes this dude and he says, hey, nope, don't do it. Can't buy them. Terrible situation. Why? Okay, why is that? And he's talking about this liver disease, and he says many pythons that are hatched in Africa, they have this disease. Okay, fewer of the ones that are hatched in America have it. Okay, at least a few have it, but there's a greater proportion that are hatched in Africa with this disease. And then the last statement he says is, look, man, you can't see it. So your pet snake could be slithering around, you could be falling in love. My gosh, you could want to marry your snake, but 100% of the time, after it's contracted the disease, the snake is dead within 6 months, and your heart is broken, okay? So at the end of the day, in my mind, the conclusion to this is, dude, don't pay a cheap price for a python. But that's irrelevant, okay? So let's go to the answer choices. Again, we're looking for something that must be true, okay? E, pythons hatched in neither Africa nor North America are not afflicted with the liver disease. Jesus Christ, what does that mean? Basically what it's saying is there is no snake with the liver disease unless it's from Africa or America. We don't know that. We simply do not have any idea about that. We're only talking about African and American pythons. So E falls out. It's not a must be true. D, the pythons are inexpensively priced because many of them suffer from the liver disease. I don't know about that. I mean, I thought that we just flooded the market with these damn things. I have no clue. Could be true, but it's not a must be true. We're not told that, okay? C, any python that has not died by the age of 6 months does not have the liver disease. And I'm looking at this 6-month thing. I think that's it. I mean, why do we even need to go any further? I put a check mark next to that and I say, okay, I think that's my answer. Let me go to B. Pythons that hatch in Africa are more susceptible to the liver disease than are pythons that hatch in North America. I'm saying to myself, wow, I think that sounds pretty good because more of them have it in Africa and less here. They're more susceptible. That absolutely makes sense. Now I'm confused. Is it B or is it C? Then I look at A. Some pythons hatched in North America may appear fine, but will die within 6 months as a result of the liver disease. And we said we know that a few had it, hatched with it. So I know that it's A too. So now I'm truly confused. A has got to be the right one, right? I mean, it was told here. So we got to go back and look at B and C. That's the only way out of this. Look at B and I start thinking about susceptible. Are they more susceptible? We know that many more of them have it, and a few have it here. Maybe there's like 17 billion pythons in Africa, and there's only 20 pythons here, and maybe that's why the price was so high on those damn things. And just maybe there's a higher proportion of American snakes that were hatched with it than there were than there were in Africa. But no, we know that it's a greater proportion in Africa. The question becomes, are they more susceptible? We don't really know. We don't know what the situation there is. We know for many to few, we know that there's a greater proportion, but we don't know whether they're more susceptible to it. In other words, once the African snakes start to interact with the American snakes, will the American snakes get more sick? We don't know. We don't know about susceptibility. Okay, so B falls out. C, any python that has not died by the age of 6 months does not have the liver disease. That seems like the answer. But then it says died by the age of 6 months. Well, we know that you die within 6 months of having it, but that doesn't mean that we won't have a snake rolling around that's like 3 years old, and bam, he gets the disease, and he's like, geez, I wasn't hatched with it. He lives 3 years and 6 months. Ah, there it is. We're talking about the difference between being hatched with it and you're not going to live 6 months, and then floating around doing your python thing, and then catching the disease. Having unprotected python sex, bam, you get the liver disease. Having too much python whiskey, bam, you get the liver disease. You live longer than 6 months. C falls out. We know that A is the answer.